Is your intuition more important in your business, or are the analytics more important? I want to show you how to use both the feminine and the masculine. It's Woo Wednesdays here at the Spiritual Business Hour, and we've got 8 ways to use your woo-woo skills in building and analyzing your business. Okay, so most spiritual coaches know how to read the energy in a room. They can read the energy in a house. They can read the energy in a relationship. And they really trust their intuition in their personal lives and in their coaching work. And I applaud them because they are very good. You're very good at what you do. But then when you sit down to figure out why your business is not growing, you immediately abandon every energetic and intuitive tool that you own and you go looking for answers in your analytics. Okay, so you are checking your reach, you're checking your engagement rate, you're checking your email open rate, you're checking how many people downloaded, how many people saw it, what's your conversion number. All right. The data tells you what happened, but it doesn't really tell you why. And granted, don't get me wrong, there are ways to understand why. You can go back to your landing page and you can look at um, you know, okay, you use this wording over here and you put the picture over there. You should have had the picture over there. You can do a split test. These people liked this image more, so you can put that image up there. Okay, those things are super valid. Those things are also very masculine, all right? Remember, we need both feminine and masculine, but those things are not your superpower. And remember that if you are a woman coach and you're leading from your heart and you're spiritual, your superpower lies in your woo. It lies in your woo woo. All right. So, for a spiritual woman, your most reliable intelligence has always come through your body, your intuition, and your energetic awareness rather than from a spreadsheet and trying to diagnose your business through data, right? It's like for you, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. All right. You want to use the right instrument that really works for your particular heart. And again, I am not trying to tell you that you should abandon numbers. No way. All right. I believe in both intuition and spirituality, as well as masculinity and like logical, rational business stuff. So, welcome to the Spiritual Business Hour with Lynn Bell. I'm Lynn. I'm a spiritual business mentor, and I work with women who are heart-centered, and I help you build a grounded business that has infrastructure, but that also gives you freedom, and it works from your heart. All right. I am not ever going to tell you that you need to be all feminine or all masculine. You need to be all in the numbers. You need to be logical only, or that you need to be feminine and going woo woo all the time. I'm not going to tell you that because that's not how babies get made. Okay. You need a masculine and a feminine. That's how babies get made, and your business is your baby. So today we are talking about, and I'm going to give you 8 ways to bring your masculine and feminine together. And I'm going to show you how to actually, I'm going to talk to you about both. So you're going to hear both today. All right. Now, before I get into that, I want you to understand that, I said your coaching business is your baby. I want you to understand that it is as much of an energetic entity as it is a financial one. And you can read it, you can diagnose it, and you can adjust it energetically with the same care, the same precision, the same accuracy that a skilled person like you, a skilled practitioner, would read the energy of a client. Okay. And with the same care and precision and accuracy that a skilled um, analyst would read the numbers on your business. They would be able to tell you specific things that you can work on and adjust. Well, you can do that also with your business's energy. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So, the energy of a business has really specific, identifiable qualities that you can actually track. So your business, it flows or it contracts. So it can expand or it can contract. It can move forward. It can be stagnant. It can attract or it can repel. Right? Your business can feel alive and vibrant and generative, or it can feel heavy, stagnant, stuck, and depleting, right? Your business is probably leaking in very specific places through misaligned offers, through unhealed money wounds. And, you as the coach, you're the leader of this thing. If you're tired or you're not getting what you want, you're not getting the results you want, you're not able to show up in your full presence. And listen, I want to pause right here because I want you to know that I have compassion for you. If you are a coach and you are struggling in your business, you have my compassion. And I'm not going to force positivity on you. I don't like that. I don't like that. It doesn't work. It's a lie. It doesn't work for anybody, my friend. It doesn't work for anybody. Instead, I want to give you both. You need the positive because you need to be positively focused. But when that darkness comes up, when that fear comes up, I want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge that that fear is real, that you are coming through something. But what I want to encourage you to do is to not back down. I don't want you contracting. I don't want you hiding. I want you instead, and I don't want you going forward with forced positivity. We'll be talking about this more in a different topic, but I just wanted to pause and acknowledge that sometimes it's hard, okay? And sometimes those hard phases can be not just a week or two, it can go on for months, and that can be very difficult to stay in this game. So I just want you to know that I see you, I feel you, I've been there. And there are ways to get out. Don't just stay there stuck. Reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. That's my job. All right. All right. With that being said, so we're talking about like why you're stuck and how that shows up in your business. All right. And here's the thing I want you to understand very powerfully, because if you are spiritual, you enjoy using spirituality. You enjoy seeing the world through a spiritual lens, okay? And that's really important. But I want you to understand that seeing things through a spiritual lens has financial consequences. Or I said that wrong. I said that wrong. What I mean is, looking at things through a spiritual lens is not just about gauging how you feel or, if you're aligned or not aligned. What I mean is that when you look through that spiritual lens, you can actually understand the financial consequences of what's happening inside your business, right? So your business is diagnosable on an analytical level, what the numbers are, what the reach is, what the conversion rates are, but also on a spiritual level, what the flow is, what the frequency is, where there are energetic leakages, where there's contraction, where there should be expansion, where you're tired and it's causing your energy to be wonky, or where you're tired and you've let in I was going to say deceptors, that's not the word, deceivers into your business. When I say deceivers, excuse me, it's where you're tired, you're tired, you're worn out, and you've not been protecting your mindset enough. And so all those old wounds, that old fear, those old kind of dialogues, those old patterns are coming in, and they are starting to whittle away at the positivity that you have built. So I know that I was talking about this yesterday. I don't know if I was talking about it with you or if I was talking about it with a friend. I can't really remember. But I was talking about it with my friend Irina. I was on her show yesterday. You might want to check out that episode. It's on my Facebook profile. But I was talking about how I'm in a launch right now. And the launch that I'm in was very similar to the launch I did last year. Not the same topic and not the same energy, but it was the same timing. Like I did a summit last year in July, and then I did a challenge in August, and then a retreat in August, which is what I'm doing now. So those are mirrors of one another. And what I was telling Irina was that I felt, like when I was coming into this launch plan that I had put together, there were those old feelings of failure from last year because my launch last year did not go well. I struggled last year. I was tired. It was a 9-year, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I was sharing that with Irina. And the thing that when I'm talking about those deceivers coming in, deceivers are old ideas and old trauma that did not quite get resolved. So they went into hiding, they got quiet, but here you are taking on another challenge, and they're rising up to remind you of how much you fucked up or how much you failed last year. And this is problematic because you are not in you're not in last year. This is not last year. This is 2026. The numerology of from one year to another is different, and you are different. You are growth. You are new energy. You are a new day. It's not the same day every day. The sun comes up every day, but it's a new day every day, and it's a new day inside of us every day. So that's what I mean by being careful and understanding how, like, when you're looking through a spiritual lens, you are able to discover those deceptive things that are coming in, trying to steal away the power that is your opportunity to enjoy this brand new day. All right. So let's take a look at the 8 diagnostic keys to unlock your earning potential. Okay, wait, I feel like I haven't told you about my offers. So right now I'm doing the Liberated Coach Challenge. And in 2 weeks, I'm holding the Liberated Coach Retreat. If you're curious about that, just write the word retreat in the comments, and then I will come back through and give you some information. I'm not ready to start talking about it just yet, but for those of you who are curious, I'll give you some um, pre pre-launch details. All right. So just write the word retreat in the comments. So right now, we're going to look at the 8 ways to unlock your earning potential using your woo. I'm going to be doing that every time. Your woo woo. And but also understanding it in terms of really your real business. All right. So here's the first diagnostic key. You want to do a body scan. All right. So you're going to use your body to read your own business. This is so important for you as a spiritual coach or a heart-centered coach because your feeling nature is your superpower. So your body is like the most immediate and most honest energetic diagnostic instrument that my blood feels stagnant, like my blood is not flowing through my body. I'll understand that stagnant feeling as maybe a message from Mars because Mars rules the blood. Saturn also rules the blood, but he rules the iron in the blood, right? And Mars rules that plasma, that flow. So that's how I use it. You can also read into your body and take a tarot card. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great way. Hey, tarot, spirit guides. I'm noticing that my left hip, when I think about my business, my left hip twinges, right? It starts to get real tight. So then you pull a tarot card and you ask for guidance. Help me understand that. You pull the tarot card and then you get some insights. And that's a great way to use your body and to incorporate the cards as well. All right. Okay, here's diagnostic key number 2. You want to you want to do an energy reading on your offer. So what you're going to do, I write my offers down. I have my offer ladder is written down on in a Google Doc. And what you can do is now, if you want to print them out, that I just thought about that. I was actually, because I normally just kind of sit there and look at my screen, but if you're tactile, you can print out your offers. You can cut them up, right? Mine are all on like a couple of pages, but I could cut them out. And then I could take one offer and actually hold it in my hand, right? And what you're going to do is hold each of your offers in your awareness or in your hands one at a time and notice again what it feels like in your body. Does it feel alive? Does it feel exciting? I did this read, not holding the individual papers, but looking at my screen. I did that for my most recent offer ladder, and I'll tell you something, my heart was just lit up. I was so excited. It's like sparkles going off inside me. So it didn't always feel this way. There were things that were wrong, but now it's so cohesive and it's got so many good parts to it that I love that it feels really, really good. So you can hold your offers in your hand or you can look at your screen and just notice how it makes you feel. Do you feel heavy? Does it feel obligatory? Or does it feel like something that you have outgrown? That can also be a really powerful feeling. That's a signature that you can feel in your body, especially if you are intuitive. So, if you've outgrown an offer or it was never really aligned to begin with, that can feel very particular in your body. You can feel contracted, you can feel defeated, right? All of those things can show up in your body. So if it feels flat to you, you're going to be transmitting that flat energy to everybody because that's your offer is a part of your structure, right? So doing this kind of energetic diagnostic review of what you're doing, of what you're bringing to the table is a great way to get feedback from your core about what you're doing. This is really important, especially if you're working with a coach. Now, when I'm working with my students, I never force them to do anything that I say. I ask them to stop. I ask them how they feel. And they know that if they say, I feel fine, or they'll say, good, I'm like, okay, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you how you feel. And so what I have them do is I say, stop, pause, breathe. And then they stop and they get quiet and they tune into their intuition, like their deep gut, like so they put their hands down on their lower belly. And I'll say, how does this book title really feel to you? Not how does it sound, not what do you think about it? How does it feel? And then they'll say, well, it doesn't feel so good. And then I'll say, great, we just go back and we create another one. And then we just keep working in that way. This is again the dance of the masculine and the feminine. The masculine says, hey, here's some great book titles. I just got them from ChatGPT. And then you try them on, and the feminine says, no, I don't like any of those. I think it feels more like this. This would feel better to me. And that's what you go with because you're uniting both. All right. Okay, let me give you diagnostic key number 3. So this would be what I call the content energy audit. So this is where you're going to look at like your most recent 10 pieces of content, and you're going to ask yourself very honestly, which ones were created from genuine like love. I call it love. You could call it aliveness. You could call it heart. You could call it soul. But for me, it's like these things that we create, like a lead magnet, an ebook, a checklist. Which ones did you create from obligation or like just trying to get something done? Okay. I know I say done is better than perfect. I say that all the time, but sometimes you don't want to be doing that. I mean, well, we don't want perfect. Well, we do want perfect. If it comes out perfect, yay. Okay. But we also don't want to like hold on to things and keep perseverating on them, and then they never actually like get birthed into the world. But we definitely, whatever we create, we want to take the time to make sure we're putting our heart and soul in it. We start with the heart and soul, and then we can, that's feminine, in my opinion, the feeling nature, heart and soul. But then we apply the masculine rules and ideas to it, right? So when anyway, you got my point, right? So when you are creating something that is genuinely yours, when it's genuinely authentic, you know it because it feels exciting. You feel enthusiasm. You have curiosity. You want to share it. It doesn't feel afraid to share it. It's like the things are going to come. You want to go on to the next step with it. And you definitely, definitely don't want to keep it to yourself, right? So this is really important that you guard your mentality so that you are not being caught off guard by those feelings that can come in and make you feel like you have to do this. I have to create a lead magnet. Oh, she said an ebook is good. That feels overwhelming. Yeah, no, that's not what you want to do. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? This is where we got to be careful, my beloved spiritual friends, because your feeling nature, like when you feel dread about doing something, that does not mean that you stop or you back down. And this is where it's a really delicate balance. And this is where you need to look at your patterns, okay? Because if you are consistently backing down from the work that needs to be done to like build the infrastructure for your business or to really put yourself out there, that is not about the work. That is about you and your relationship with what you're being asked to do. That doesn't mean that you should not do the thing. It means you need to fix your relationship with that thing. There could be trauma, there could be old stuck beliefs that you're harboring. But let me tell you something. An ebook is an incredible way, especially if you are a spiritual woman, because it's going to make you put your ideas to paper and make them coherent. If you're resistant to that, you can't blame that and be like, oh, the masculine is harming me. No, you cannot. You cannot do that. You need to say, look, I'm having some resistance to this. Let me look at it. Let me do some deep work. And I need to get an ebook written so that I can be visible and have credibility. Credibility. So you need to get this thing done. Okay. Look at what's stopping you rather than avoiding, denying, negating, and blaming it on the masculine. Instead, look at yourself and figure out why you're not expanding with this great, wonderful thing that takes coaches to the next level. All right. Okay. So the thing that I want to just make sure I say here is that you remember that when you create content from that place of love and aliveness, you are being magnetic. You're magnetic. When you create content from obligation, like you're just trying to get something done and you don't have the right, you're not bringing the right spirit to it, you're not bringing the right energy to it, that is going to repel people because we're all sensitive. We're all connected at the heart. And if your heart is doing this, we know it, right? And it shows up in your pocketbook, shows up in your bank account. All right, let's take a look at the key diagnostic or diagnostic key number 4. So this one I call the money wound reading. So this is where you're going to sit with your current pricing and you're going to notice what happens in your body when you say the different numbers out loud. This one was really, really powerful for me because I've loved my pricing in the past, but there was something that was missing. I only had big ticket offers, and I never had anything that was a lower ticket offer. My instinct was to give people complete. And so to give you complete, it meant that I spent a lot of time with you. I worked with people for a year, or years. So my offers were larger, my time spent was larger, and what we were doing was doing complete things. And for me, that was a great way to start. I could actually do something complete. And then what I've had to do over these years is kind of reverse engineer and then break that down into smaller parts for people who are not ready for the totality, but they need something, like they need the first step. So for me, I've now broken that down. So I was sitting with my numbers for these new offers and the way that I'm presenting them. And there was, getting the numbers right was challenging. Okay. Some of the numbers were too high. Some of the numbers were way too low. But then I found that happy medium. And then I discovered this thing that I love. And again, my offer ladder is smoking. It is so good. I can't wait to show it to you. I'll share it with you. I'll share it with you in September because I'm putting the finishing touches on it. I'm, doing all the assets for it, building the landing pages for it and building the little booklets that I like to create and the PDFs and all that kind of stuff. So it's a process. And when I say I'm building, I mean I am thinking about it, and my team is actually doing the building, but you understand that, I'm sure. So you want to notice at what point in your body do you start to feel tightening or contraction, restriction, anger, right? You start getting angry, you start getting distracted, you start getting frustrated. You're sitting there, and those are signs, you're agitated, you get hungry. Those are signs that you're working with something that is not right. Okay. Because the emotions are coming up and different things are meaning different things. Different reactions are meaning different things. When you get excited, when you get expansive, that's telling you that you're on track. All right. So, all right, let's look at number 5. This is the visibility energy check. All right. So I want you to notice how your body responds when you think about going live, or you think about putting an opinion out there, or you think about sharing something. I have a friend and she does not like to put her ideas out, and she is lovely and she is so smart and she's so beautiful, but she is so put off, like she gets derailed when somebody says something that is contradictory to who she is or what she believes in. She takes their personal opinions, she takes that as a personal attack against her. And um, she's written a book and it has not been put, she's not put it out. Has not put it out. The book is complete. It's been edited and she's not put it out. Been sitting on it now for 6 months, just sitting on it. What you doing with your book, friend? Oh, I don't know. I'll get to it. She don't even have a job. She doesn't even have a job, okay? Like her job is hanging out, drinking coffee, enjoying her life. She could have that book out there. Okay. So my point is that you need to pay attention to how you feel around putting yourself out there. You know, if you feel dread, if you feel contraction, if you feel fright, those are all signs, not that you shouldn't put yourself out there. And this is the mistake that people make. They take that as a sign that they should not put themselves out there. And so they go hide. You know, they either go hide and just move on, like my friend who's just not doing it. She's just, nope, not doing it. Okay. Drawing a line in the sand. She's not crossing that line. Or they do things like, oh, well, before I put the book out, I need to go over here and write these 100 emails, or then I need to go over here and do these blah, 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 blah things. Okay. That is not actually, that's not it. Okay. So making sure that you are clear about like why you are having apprehension about putting yourself out there, about being seen, about your voice, okay? Listening to yourself, about the things that you say. That is really what this comes down to. You know, there's like there's a fear of being vulnerable. We want you to move beyond that fear of being vulnerable and understanding that, number one, vulnerability is magnetic. Vulnerability doesn't have to be, and it's not just magnetic to narcissists. No, it's not. Vulnerability means that you are exposed, you are seen, right? And I'm attracted when I see people. We love it when we can see you like a moth to the flame, right? You are open-hearted, open-minded. You're open. And sure, I mean, negative stuff could come, but you know, there are prayers for that. And there's also a block. There's this thing called block. Facebook has it, YouTube has it. You can block people and like they can't get to you. There's that as well, you know. You can also just ignore people and let them be foolish. Because a lot of times it's your reaction that they're looking for. And the more you learn to shut them out, the better off you are, the more free you are. All right, so let's look at the diagnostic key number 6. That is my client relationship scan. So this is where you're going to bring each of your current clients to your mind one at a time, and you're going to notice what your body does. Some of them are going to produce expansion where you're feeling this warmth, you're feeling alive, you're feeling a sense of simpatico. But others are going to produce something that's maybe, let's call it more complicated. You'll experience some heaviness or contraction. You'll feel depleted, or maybe you'll just feel angry, right? So those clients that produce contraction in your body, it's not that they're bad clients, they're just misaligned clients. And that misalignment is costing you both. So the very best work flows freely in relationships where the energy feels genuinely reciprocal. And the one where it's not are draining your energy. You're getting drained, right? And they're also draining your visibility. And along with all those things goes your income. So I would work on these things very seriously, my friend. All right, diagnostic key number 7, the vision clarity reading. So you want to sit with your vision for your business And by the way, we're doing that today in the Liberated Coach Challenge. If you join the challenge, number one, you're not too late. You could join and you could binge, all right? But you know what, Zaina, will you please drop the link just in case somebody wants to binge watch me? If somebody wants to binge watch the challenge, just in case. But the point is that you can binge watch the challenge and you can catch up. There's home fun, there are online workbooks. It's really just, it's a beautiful challenge. There are great meditations in there. But today we're working on the vision of your business. All right. So what you want to do is sit down with your vision, think about where you're going, think about, how you want to help people, and think about really what you want it to look like in 12 months. And notice kind of what kind of energy is that producing in you? When you think about your business 12 months from now, what is that stirring up in you? Does it feel like, yes, that's where I'm going. Yes, that's doable. And yes, it's exciting. Yes, it's, like it's aspirational, like you're reaching, right? You're reaching, but you're on the track, like you're on the path. The airplane is headed toward New York City. That's where you're going. You're on the right plane. You're going, right? Or does it feel more like, hey, I want to go to New York City, but it feels like I'm going down to Louisiana right now? Like, why does it feel like I'm going south when I'm trying to go east? All right. So the idea is that you really want to like align yourself with that vibration of the thing where you want to go. Okay. You might have a vibration that's more resonant with Louisiana. And by the way, no shade to Louisiana. I'm just saying south, east, there you go. All right. So if you're trying to get to New York City, you need to align yourself with New York City. And if you're noticing that you're going toward Louisiana, you need to understand, well, what's taking me in that path? What's bringing me on that trajectory? So that's where you want to align yourself and understand that if you have a vision and you have conviction behind it, that's influencing your energetic field. And if you have a vision, but there's no conviction, but there's hope, that's also determining your energetic field. I know y'all love hope. I know y'all love hope. But hope is not the highest vibration, my friend. All right? Just all respect to hope, but hope is not conviction. Hope is not yes. Hope is, oh, I hope so. Not the same thing. All right? So you want clarity, you want conviction. And, if you can hold those with your vision, that's going to, again, raise the frequency and make you more magnetic. And I want just a word of caution. Don't let time fool you. Don't let time rob you of your conviction. Just because you didn't hit something in the first year, like you didn't hit your $10,000 or $10,000 months in your first year, don't be fooled into thinking that somehow there's something wrong with your plan, right? The very most you want to do is look at the inside and say, like, where am I not aligned with that goal that I want? And how do I adjust? Read the energy as feedback and then go from there. Like your instincts need time to develop. If you've never run a business before, if you're newer into coaching, or if you've been doing this for a few years and you didn't get a great, strong start, your instincts are off, man. And so you need to like take some time to realign yourself, but don't give up on your vision, because if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. That shit's real, man. But it might take time. It might take time. You can always reach out to me and ask me, and I'll go over your business with you. This is part of what I do, is sitting down with women and helping them look at the concept of what they want and doing a diagnostic on where they are, what they have, and how to bring it into alignment with what they want. It's very powerful. All right, the last alignment, the last diagnostic key is what I call the alignment diagnostic. Now, this is like your master key because you've heard me kind of say you need to align with this. You've heard me say that a few times today. So, what I want you to do for this one is just to sit quietly and ask yourself, your body, your system, ask yourself a simple question about a major area of your business. You can look at your income, you can look at your ideal client, you can look at a strategy, you can look at your team. And for each one, you're going to notice whether in your body you're a yes or a no. Now, here's the thing to understand, and this is where people mess up. If you feel a no in your body, what they generally do is say, no, that's not for me right now. No, that's wrong, honey. You got that wrong, okay? What that no is telling you is where your body is holding resistance. If God has brought you to a wonderful place, a wonderful idea, if divine genius is working in you and it is showing you something magnificent and you feel a no in your body, you need to understand that that no is some old tension, old sadness, old fear. And then what you do is you do some inner work, you do some love work, you do some work on your heart, you do some shadow work, you look at the fear, look at what you're afraid of, why this brilliant idea, you're resistant to this brilliant idea. Fear, okay, look at that. And then you work with it. Once you've worked with it, right, then you do it again. If you still have it, I'd say work with it some more, because honestly, if it's a great idea, why are you resistant to a great idea? Okay. All right. That was number 8. That means I'm done. All right, my friends. So, do you know that you can subscribe to my channel? Do you know that you can also sign up to actually get the Spiritual Business Hour cheat sheets? Yep, that exists. That's a thing. We'll talk about that in the next episode because I don't know where the link is. So I gotta find the link and I can't drop it right now. So tomorrow I'll drop that link so that you can get the cheat sheets. All right? All right, my friend, I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up. All right? Leave me some comments and I will see you tomorrow for Build It Thursdays. All right. Bye for now, friends. Bye.